All right, welcome back to Chapter 6, video number 3. In this video, we're going to have a look at the logic flow through the main program as it activates the new methods that we were creating. And I'm going to demonstrate this using the debug tool in this, this light switch program that we were just looking at in the previous video. So I'm going to put a breakpoint here, and I'm actually using my instructor's code here because I'm going to explain a bit more how it works. So when I run this program, now remember I put a breakpoint here. When I click the switch, it should stop the breakpoint. So there's the program. It's running. If I click this switch right here, it should break out, and it does. There's the pointer right there. It stops at the beginning. And it's going to ask our first question. If the light on picture box is visible, and that you can see there with a little tooltip, that is true, it should activate our new method that we just created here called turn light off. Well, if I click my F11 and step in, that should take this down to turn light off, which is down here to turn light off. And sure enough, it went down here. You can see the pointer jump down to there, and it's going to basically turn the lights off as visible. The light that are on is going to be false. Put the label here to say lights off. And I added another little button up here that I'll talk to you about in class. And then it returns back. So at the end of this right here is it returns back to the calling program. So it went from line 59 in my program up here to 39. And basically this has been satisfied. This if statement has been satisfied, so it should drop down and it ends the code. And then we're done. It returns back to the program and mission accomplished. Similarly, if I was to go back here again, if I click it again, of course, if I click that button, when I click, the event handler will activate. And sure enough, it'll run. The logic stops at this point right here. And it asks the question again, is that on or off? Well, now if I roll my mouse over here, my tooltip tells me it is false because it's now turned off. In that case, this is not going to run. It should jump down to line 41, and sure enough, it does. And this time it's going to run our new method here that we just created called turn light on. So let's turn the light on. It's going to run this new private void method that we just coded, jump down here and basically turn the light on to true, turn the light off, picture box off, turn this to the on, and then move this little switch up here. That's a little toggle switch to turn that off and on, and so on. So that is the walkthrough of how the methods are called, how they're executed, and then they return back to the calling statement inside the code. And there it is here. Now this button up here that I've added, I did that because I've got another button in this case to do similar things, but this time I've just added a graphical button up here. I don't have to write the code again. I can simply just type in, let's turn the light off. And sure enough, it runs up here, it goes through the code, and then it returns back to where it was called from. And the light is turned off. Now if I click it again, that's this button right here. That's another button, and I'm going to recycle that method and that code. It's going to turn the light back on. And sure enough, it does. All right, so now if I was to take out that breakpoint right here, and we are to, let's see here, can I step it through? I might have to just stop the debugger and restart the debugger. Now if I click the switch, it gives this effect right here because these are actually two separate. And there we go. I'm using the method for turning the light on here, and I'm also using the same method for turning it on here in slightly different ways, but I'm saving myself some code in doing that. All right, so that's a little walkthrough of how to call the method and how the method then returns back to the calling block of code. We'll see you guys in the next video.